I want to talk to you about how to increase the value of your personal injury car accident claim. If you settle your case without a lawyer, you will be able to save thousands of dollars in attorney's fees. But you need to know how to increase the value of your case if you want to get the top dollar in your settlement without an attorney. Here are 5 great ways to increase the value of your personal injury claim when you try to settle without a lawyer. First, go to a doctor immediately after the car crash. I cannot stress this enough. If you wait a day or 2 days, or certainly 3 or 4 days, your case is going to be worth less in the eyes of the at-fault insurance company. This is called delayed treatment. The best scenario is if you take an ambulance immediately from the car accident scene to a hospital. If you drive yourself to the hospital, that's fine, but it should be the same day. If you go the following morning, it's still probably okay, but you're losing money on your case the longer it takes you to go see a doctor after your car accident. The reasoning for this makes sense. If an insurance company sees that you didn't go immediately, they're going to say, how hurt were you really? So go immediately to a doctor. Number 2, take photographs of your vehicle and any visible injuries, and you're going to include them later on when you try to settle your case. So as long as there's damage to your vehicle that looks reasonably bad, you want to take photographs so that the insurance adjuster looking at it says, oh, I see, this is pretty serious. So you want to take photographs of the rear and the front and anywhere that there's damage. It can also be helpful to take photographs of the other person's vehicle. If you're driving a big Toyota truck and you get hit really hard by a Prius, your truck's not going to show a lot of damage, but the Prius is going to show a lot of damage, and the insurance company can understand how serious the impact was by looking at the other person's car also. With injuries, take photographs as long as they are visible injuries. So bruising, cuts and gashes and wounds, those are all visible, and you should take photographs to tell the story of how serious your injury was. Now, a lot of injuries are invisible. Strains and sprains and even fractures are invisible. That's fine. If you have a broken bone or a fracture and you have an x-ray, the x-ray is a good photograph of the injury that you can use later on when you try to settle your case. Okay. Number 3, run a background check on the other driver, the at-fault driver. There are a lot of services online where you can run a criminal background check, or you can hire a private investigator for a couple $100. They will run a background check on the other driver. Here's why this is important. If the other driver is on their 3rd DUI and they don't have a driver's license and then they crash into you, your case is going to be worth more. If the other driver has a picture-perfect record and they don't have anything going on, then it's probably not going to add much value to your case, but you should run a background check just to see. Number 4, here's the most important part of settling your case without a lawyer. You need to write what's called a demand letter and include all of your medical records and all of your medical bills that are related to your injuries in your demand letter. Now, the letter is basically a summary of everything that's happened to you, all your injuries, a summary of all your medical bills, the photographs of the injuries, the photographs of the car, and a copy of the police accident report. And you're going to mail it in when you are done getting all of your treatment and you are demanding to settle your case for a certain amount of money. This is very, very important that you put this information together. This is going to increase the value of your claim a lot more than just a phone call with the insurance adjuster trying to settle your case. Lastly, number 5, when you write your demand letter and you try to settle your case without a lawyer, you should ask to settle the case for the policy limits of the at-fault driver. What that means is the at-fault driver has an insurance policy. It's probably worth $25,000 or $50,000 or $100,000. That is most car insurance policies out there in our country. So when you ask to settle the case for policy limits, you're asking for the top amount that they have available. And you don't know what their policy limits are, they're not going to tell you what they are. And so it's a pretty safe thing to say, hey, we want to settle the case for everything you have. Now, if everything they have is $100,000 and your case is probably worth 10 or 15, obviously they're not going to settle for $100,000, but it's a starting point where you can come way down depending on what you find out when you talk to the insurance adjuster. The idea here is that you're not asking to settle the case for a number that's too low, because then you would be leaving money on the table when you settle your case. So ask to settle for policy limits. Now, you need to know how to settle this case without a lawyer, and you need to know all the ways to demand to settle your case in the demand letter. You need to know how to write the demand letter. You need to know how to request your records and bills. You can do that with my ebook and video series where I detail every step of the way how to settle this case without a lawyer, including, most helpfully, a Microsoft Word document template of the demand letter. And you'll be able to fill in the blanks in the demand letter so that you can write it the same way a personal injury attorney would write it. I also answer questions about red flags to look for in your case, other helpful tips to increase the value of your case, how to reduce your medical bills after you settle your case. The ebook and the video series will walk you through everything you need to know, including a checklist, so you can go down through the checklist and get your case settled without a lawyer and save thousands and thousands of dollars on attorney's fees. Most attorneys will charge you 1/3 of your settlement to handle your case. If your case is worth $20,000, that's a $7,000 attorney's fee that you can avoid by getting the ebook and going through my video series.